People seem to enjoy Twisted Metal lore, so let's talk about this guy. If you played Twisted Metal, you know his name. He is Calypso, and he thanks you for playing Twisted Metal. But do you know his backstory? You might not, because it really wasn't in any of the games. Instead, I think around when Twisted Metal 2 came out, they released a comic book. Before we get to the backstory, though, let's look at all the different designs he's had over the years. That's the first one. Yeah, there's a reason they cut those live-action cutscenes. You can watch them on the PS2 version of Head On, but there's a reason they cut them. As you already saw, this is how he looked in Twisted Metal 2. This basic design stuck for quite a while, but unfortunately they switched to rendered cutscenes instead of using those drawn ones. At the time this probably looked amazing, but looking back now, they should have stuck with the drawn ones. Twisted Metal Head On, they kept the same basic design philosophy, folded in a few things from Twisted Metal Black like the eye, but also made him a lot older. Twisted Metal 2013 made him a lot younger, and definitely more demonic. Now there's a reason we saved some of the other ones for last. You notice this is a completely different look. As I said in my last video, Twisted Metal Black takes place inside of Sweet Tooth's head. All the characters in some way are a representation of him or something in his mind. Now remember, I said, notice the eye. Notice the eye. This Calypso is the Sweet Tooth version of Calypso. And we'll mention Small Brawl, there's not much to say, it's a different character. But back to his backstory, I'll give you the quick version. As a kid, he was playing with his dad's car, accidentally run over his sister. He went on to grow up and work at a junkyard. His name was William Sparks. The nickname Calypso came from the fact that when he would hammer twisted pieces of metal, he would do so with a rhythm that sounded like a kind of music, and his boss actually said to him, "Why don't you try hammering an American?" That was actually in the comic. But they made amends and his boss started putting him in his demolition derbies. Now Calypso, after everything he'd been through, just wanted to die. But no matter what happened in these derbies, he always won. Moving along, eventually he meets a wife and has a daughter, who both die in car accidents that he survives. Continuing his self-destructive ways, he does the same thing and finally hears the voice of his wife saying, "It should be you here, not me." She tells him all you have to do is just not drive. He does that. He starts driving and then he doesn't drive and goes into a brick wall. Now you know where he ends up, being chased down by a demon in a tank, minion, but he gets away. So the devil makes a deal with him. He gives him supernatural abilities and sends him back to Earth, but he's got to run a competition called Twisted Metal to send souls over to him. And that's how we get here. Now, canon in Twisted Metal is weird. We really don't know what's canon. But we do know Calypso is a wish-granting evil demonic genie. But that's Calypso lore. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments.